Let's hear it for Megalodon and Corey Rummel. Megalodon Fire coming out and doing exactly that. Like the freestyle competition, on fire. But it looks like the run comes to an early MK due to some breakage. That's a real hard landing there.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, it takes a lot because he's the first one out as well. So I know the nerves are definitely hitting as well.
Right there, it looks like maybe a busted planetary, maybe an inner, maybe an outer axle. That's going to end the run every single time, though.
Most definitely, we want to acknowledge those on the video board, some of the criteria that you, the fans, are going to be using at judgeszone.com as well.
Of course, now remember the driver has to fill at least 30 seconds to get a score, which Corey Rummel did, and if they don't fill at least a minute, whatever score you and the expert judges come up with, he's going to lose a full point, which means if it comes up to a 7.4, it's down to a 6.4. And there are the scores on the board right there. Finishes with a 5.887. That is the official score for Corey Rummel and Megalodon. Take another look up at the video board there in a moment. Just see some of the other things you want to be looking for. Balance, flow, momentum, using all of the obstacles in Europe World Finals. There are plenty of obstacles for these drivers to make sure they attack. You want to keep all that in mind, plus that little bit extra and special wow factor.
Taking a look at the track, there's definitely a lot of different obstacles that, you know, our drivers can choose from. And the way that our dirt squad, our JCB dirt squad has cut some of these ramps and made some different obstacles and allowed these different jumps, I think our drivers are going to be very creative as we continue through these rounds.
You know, I know they went ahead and they pulled out the high jump ramp, but that is still pretty steep, and I think a lot of drivers are going to look to try to hit that and get some huge air here in Sci-Fi.
John, right now we're going to be showing our recovery team getting some of that debris out of the track before we get set here for our second competitor here in the BKT World Finals Freestyle Championship.
You know, the reason why that's important, Kay, some of the fans up in the stands, they might look down and say, why are they bothering to do that? Well, you can pop a tire on some jagged pieces that are down there, and that will end a freestyle run almost immediately. So you want to make sure that you're setting up all of the drivers for success, especially when you have a car or a bus down there.
And a pop tire is not something that you want to end your World Finals bid as well. So kudos to our USHRA safety officials, our JCB Dirt Squad, making sure that everything is ready to go here as we're going to continue on in freestyle here in just a moment.
You know, Kate, one of the things I like to do throughout the series is I like to give a shout out to our USHRA safety officials, to the JCB Dirt Squad. We've got a packed house here in SoFi, so let's give a huge round of applause for all of the unsung heroes in Monster Jam. You would not be at Monster Jam World Finals without them.
This is your two-time World Finals Freestyle Champion, just to end his freestyle run, but I mean, big air, big wobbles there from Jim Kohler and Avenger.
And you know what, Kay, I'm not gonna lie, I think if he had about 4 to 6 more feet, he probably saves that truck. Just comes a little too close to the boundary, and of course you just run out of room, and that's how it happens sometimes. But right there, I thought he was about to roll it back over. A huge hand for Jim Kohler, one of the best to ever do it. Let's turn our attention up to the video board and your scores from JudgesZone.com.
Your scores are locked in. There it is at 6.708.
Monster Jam fans, I have a new friend. This is the very first fan that I met earlier today. She tracked me down, and we've been having lots of conversations about what's been happening all day. Can you tell everybody in SoFi Stadium what your name is?
My name's Kinsley.
Now, Kinsley, as you can see this beautiful face, she's having a great time here with her family. Give me one highlight that you've loved so far.
I love the two-wheel challenge.
She loved the two-wheel skills challenge earlier, and now you're about to love something even better because I have a head-to-head showdown coming up in a minute. For those of you that were here earlier during the event, I did this again, but this time we're going to do it with a different driver. There's a 15-second timer up on the video board, and Kinsley is going to try to name as many states as she possibly can during that time. Kinsley, you were just telling me you know all the states, so I think you can do this, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you a countdown. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go!
Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota.
Wow! Oh my goodness! Check that out! That's what I like to call a good occupation, okay? We get A+s in school. That's right, give it up for Kinsley. Now, here's the trick. We have a special driver that's going to pop up on that video board. I want to see if you manage to get as many states as Jamie Sullivan did. Let's see if you can beat her. Take a look.
Florida, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, Arkansas, Alaska, Hawaii, California, Mexico.
You did it, Kinsley! You beat Jamie Sullivan, our driver of my Dalmatian. And as you can see, your brother right here is so excited. He's having a great time. He's so happy for you. He's about to give you a hug, give you a pat on the shoulder. We love that. We love family here at Monster Jam. Now, because you did this, I want to give you something very special to take home with you. I have a friend coming down the steps right now. He's holding a really cool toy. If you two can hold this together so I can talk about it for just a moment, show that off to the fans. That is a Grave Digger authentic truck. This is our Grave Digger tracks. So this can drive on anything, including water. Including water. It has a very special controller in the back. Let's turn it to the side so they can see the body right here on the track. Everything on the back is included in this. And like I said earlier, if you want to catch any of these toys, go to your local stores like Walmart or Target, as well as MonsterJam.com. Every single time you add any of our play sets, any of our 124 or 164
That one is purple down
to
there.
your collection of Monster Jam trucks, you are adding epic trucks, epic stunts, Monster Jam. SoFi Stadium, this is incredible. Give it up one more time for Kinsley.
You know, Kay, we've only seen 2 trucks thus far, 2 competitors out of the 24, but one thing we haven't seen is a Morgan and Morgan backflip attempt, and I gotta guess that one is coming pretty soon, but we've got Jim Kohler's run on replay, and it was a wild ride as you expected. I think a lot of people would have wanted to see Jim Kohler be out there for a little bit longer.
Yeah, most definitely, but I mean, we're only 2 in as we're gonna get ready here for our 3rd competitor coming up after we see this replay here. Are you guys ready for some more World Finals Freestyle? Coming up next, it's Christen Anderson, Grave Digger.
she busted up that rear BKT tire and I have been given word that the run is over. Let's hear it for Christen Anderson. Monster Jam fans, now you have to head over to judgeszone.com. Use the code JAM. You've got less than 30 seconds to lock in those scores, so work quickly. The expert judges look like they are already locked in. So now you've got to do your part as we look to crown a World Finals champion. Kay, very good run from Christen Anderson.
Super solid run there, and she finishes with the working backflip. Scores are locked in. Your score to beat 6.708 from Jim Kohler and Avenger. Your score for Christen Anderson and Grave Digger is 7.403. She's now your new leader. So that puts her at the top spot right now, 7.483 right now. Christen Anderson and Grave Digger, as we have seen the 3 Monster Jam drivers. Now let's check in with Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger.
And you can obviously recognize that last name. This is her older brother. Ryan, all smiles here. We saw you cheering. Incredible run there out of Christen Anderson. What did you think of that?
Man, I was so excited for my little sister. She's so amazing. She's stuck in the little tiny arenas all year long, and this is the only time she's opened that Grave Digger truck up. I was so stoked for her. All you girls, let her hear it. Christen Anderson, wonderful!
A very happy brother there as we continue things on here with our next competitor in the track, Zack Garner, your 2024 JCB World Finals Racing Champion, Wildside! Can he double it down here tonight and become a freestyle World Finals champion?
I gotta be honest here, I don't think Zack Garner, his dad, could handle it.
Broadcast pause there for Zack Garner Wildside at 85 seconds.
Very good start to the run. If he can breathe fire, he is going to be on his way. The clock will remain paused. Of course, we're going to give all these drivers every opportunity to continue.
Those safety lights still on green here for Zack Garner Wildside as we await the official word for our USHRA safety officials.
Okay, they're telling us now that he was not shut off. The truck did shut off on its own, which is why those green lights are still indicated. That means if he can fire that truck under his own power, he can continue at any moment. Now, it's whether or not, and I've just been told that the run is over. He is not able to refire the truck. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for your racing world champion, Zack Garner Wildside. You do have to give him a score at judgeszone.com with the code JAM. Lock it in. We're down to about 15 seconds for you to decide on a score and click submit to make sure that your score is counted among the thousands and the expert judges.
We might not see, of course, now, with that being said, a double down winner here tonight, but, you know, there's always next year.
It would have been absolutely incredible, whether the score held up or not, to see Zack Garner put on a run that maybe could have won but I think leaving 85 seconds on the clock is going to be far too much.
Yes, absolutely. Those scores are locked in. 3.550 is the official score for Zack Garner and Wildside.
I'm going to take a second to talk about one of the most components on the Monster Jam truck, the Monster Jam Freestyle, and that is the shock. So every Monster Jam truck has 4 shocks on the front, 4 shocks on the back, 8 shocks total. Now if you look here at the bottom of the shock, this part actually extends out, and this is what allows for the travel of the shock. The vessel right here on the front, this is where the nitrogen is, and the oil is on the back side. Now if you look here at the top, you'll see that these are actually connected. The oil and the nitrogen can flow, and when it flows freely, that's what makes for a softer shock setup. But if you look right here, you'll see this little nozzle. You can actually turn this knob, and it will restrict the flow of the nitrogen and the oil. And it's kind of like if you took a garden hose and you kinked it, it would restrict the flow of the water. And that is what makes, it's kind of the same thing on the shock. That's what makes for a firmer shock setup. So for something like Monster Jam Freestyle, where these trucks are getting 10, 20, 30, 40 feet in the air, you need a firmer shock setup to absorb the shock. If you don't have that, then the shock is going to bottom out. It's going to be really hard on the components of the truck, and it's also going to be really hard on the driver. So these play a pivotal part in today's Monster Jam Freestyle.
Casey, thank you so much for that insight and look at the shocks. And like she said, the shocks are going to play a crucial and key role, especially with that speed jump over there as well, John. So a lot of hard-hitting action is going to happen on the track. Those shocks need to be perfect.
You know what? This is the last time the fans here in LA are going to be able to see their racing world champion. So Los Angeles, one more time for Zack Garner and Wildside here tonight.
The BKT Freestyle leaderboard is up on the video board, so keep your eyes locked. But Christen Anderson and Greg Decker currently your score to be 7.483.
Monster Jam fans, one of the best mechanics and drivers straight out of Lafayette, Louisiana. Let's make some noise for our boy, Cody Saucier, Dragon!
ovation from the crew over there in crew seating for Cody Saucier. You want to talk about driving that thing, two wheels fall off. That's exactly what he did right there, Kay, as everybody everybody is locking in those scores at judgesonly.com. I think that might be the best run start to finish that we've seen so far.
Absolutely. I honestly thought he was broke right after hitting the Morgan & Morgan backflip, but he was able to peel off, continue that run.
I actually think he may have broken after the Morgan & Morgan backflip, and the second hard landing is what knocked the wheel off.
All right, your scores are locked in. Let's take a look. Your score to beat 7.483. Christen Anderson and Gravedigger. Your score for Cody Saucier and Dragon is sitting with a new leader, 7.812.
You can see as this crew chief, Todd Campbell, currently going ahead and watching on. And I saw you continue to communicate there with him. What were you guys saying to each other?
I was just telling him to just go out there, have a good time, and get crazy with it. It was awesome. We had a good time watching that.
Of course, we had so many cheers in the audience right now. An incredible score there puts him on the top. How did you set that truck up for success?
Make sure she's tight all around, and just go out there and have a blast, man. Go out there and have a great freaking time.
Well, congratulations on a great run from your Dragon team. Monster Jam fans, make some noise again for Dragon.
You know, Kay, I think it seems like the crowd here in SoFi Stadium, the expert judges, they agreed with our assessment. Again, I don't know if that score is going to hold up, and honestly, a 7.812 probably won't, but so far, everybody here at SoFi thinks Cody Saucier laid down the best run.
To be honest, though, this sport, I think this all day today has been so fair, has been so competitive as well. So, I mean, a really good solid score for Cody. I think it's going to hold strong? Probably not. We've got a great field competition. We've got a lot of great drivers coming up. So, a big score there to kick things off with our fifth competitor, Cody Saucier, 7.812.
Let me ask you this, Kay, because it's an interesting situation. So far, we've seen all 5 drivers not be able to fill the entire time because they are trying to go crazy and win a world championship, but you have to strike the balance a little bit on being able to maybe just get more out of your time. I think that's what the expert judges, I think that's what the fans are looking for right now.
Well, I've talked to some of the drivers, and they thought, they're just going to go all out in the first hit. But then some of the drivers, like we just witnessed, Cody Saucier and Dragon, just kind of, make sure that they filled all of their time. So we've got some insight there. We're going to throw it over to Lindsay Noble.
Coming up next, Jurassic Attack, and I'm joined by his crew chief, Mason Paul. Now, we've got to say that currently your driver is going to be the first time ever here in the main field. Do you guys have any strategy to win here?
Oh, we actually, in fact, do. Before he actually came out here, I had my phone in his cab. We were watching live, so if you're not watching live, you better be watching live. Don't ever see the track, you already know he's one hit. Guys, Jurassic Attack is coming. You guys have no idea what we have planned. I cannot wait to watch my best friend burn this truck to the ground for all you fans. So let me hear some noise. Who's ready to see Jurassic Attack burn it down for freestyle?
So deserving, don't light a
He will go for Jurassic Attack. Todd LeDuc's first appearance at Monster Jam World Finals. Jurassic Attack's first appearance at Monster Jam World Finals. Lock those scores in for that man. And Kay, I am not surprised that he's the first driver to fill the entire clock, because that's what Dalton Whitener does.
Listen, in the 2024 season for Dalton Whitener, he's only had 2 freestyle wins in that series, but he laid down such a consistent run here, especially on such a big track. Scores are locked in. Your score being Cody Saucier Dragon, 7.812. Your score for Jurassic Attack is...
No wonder! You did exactly what we wanted you to do, buddy! I can't be any more prouder than I am right now of you! You nailed it! You did a perfect run! Everybody here at the Monsters loves you! Thank you for busting your butt and for coming out here and showing all these awesome Monster Jam fans exactly what Team Toronto Monsters is all about! Congratulations, buddy! We love you!
Mike Christensen, one of the co-owners there of Team Toronto Monster. You've toured with them all season long.
Absolutely. Basically the captain of Team Throttle Monster. That is encouraging words, and they're incredibly well-deserved for Dalton Whitener. Lays down an excellent work pace. Sometimes an arena driver comes out here to Monster Jam World Finals. They get lost in the sauce out on a track this big. Not Dalton Whitener. Hit almost every obstacle. Perfect backflip. Great run.
Definitely a great run that lands him the top spot right now. The score to beat again, 8.142. Dalton Whitener and Jurassic Attack. We're going to continue things right along here. Our BKT Freestyle World Finals Championship. This is Todd LeDuc, Megalodon. Todd LeDuc and Megalodon, a 2-time World Finals champion in his own right, ready to take to the track here. I know something's going to be real exciting we're going to see from Todd.
And of course, one of those titles right here in the freestyle competition. And I think if I know Todd, he's probably a little salty about how racing went. We'll see if he takes it. Put your hands together for Megalodon. Todd LeDuc throwing down a good run. And now you've got to let him know what you thought of that run over at judgeszone.com. The code is JAM for Todd LeDuc and Megalodon. That's what all of you in the stands are working with. That's what our expert judges are working with. Kate, it seemed like Todd started off really strong, slowed down just a bit. And I think maybe that's what hit him. It's a little bit of loss of momentum here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we were waiting for some big air, some big crazy moves there from Todd LeDuc, from what we have remembered back in past World Final Day. Of course, he left 44 seconds on the clock, so I think that will make a lot of sense as well on the scores that we're going to see here in just a moment from our Monster Jam fans. But nonetheless, Todd LeDuc and Megalodon ends his run. We're going to go straight to the scores. Your score for Megalodon coming up, 5.959.
Cody, after having a little bit more seat time out there on the track, talk to us about what it felt like out there for Monster Jam Freestyle. This track looks like a playground for those Monster Jam trucks.
Absolutely, not at all what I thought it would be out there on the track. When they said at the drivers meeting, they put it on paper and said, hey, here's what we're going to cut. We're going to push this up. But man, I come out here and walked it for 2 minutes. Got to ride around. The track guys took a good look at it. Holy moly, this stuff is steep. It's like every hit out there is like a slap through the jammer. And the depth perception is really hard to judge. I got lost twice. I felt like I could have front flipped it twice. But hey, I was out there trying to fill the time, trying to make that 1 minute mark so I could get that additional 1 point. And that was probably the hardest hit right there at the end I've ever taken a Monster Jam truck. It wiped the whole front housing out. That's the most damage I've ever done. Man, what a great time we've had here in LA. Monster Jam World Finals. I got up here and everybody said this place is a party. Make some noise!
I think Cody hit it on the head right there. You know, it's really about chess right here. And he's making sure that he created that extra point, that 1 point that he can finish the 60 seconds that he needed to get that score.
It's funny, I thought you were going to say hit the nail on the head when you called this night a party. But either way, I think Cody Saucier is spot on. We get a good look at what's left of Megalodon right there.
Let's meet our next driver. It is David Over, Velociraptor. It sounds like a transmission there from Velociraptor.
Sorry about that. That's what I was going to say. It sounded like it's a slip. And yes, that's exactly what happened. The run is over. Let's hear it for Velociraptor. You know what to do. Lock those scores in right now at judgeszone.com. JAM is the code. Hey, I think that's very unfortunate because I think we were witnessing the start of the best run we've seen so far.
I mean, these Monster Jam trucks, especially his, you gotta think, he was in last chance qualifier, he was then in racing, and now in freestyle. I mean, there's been a lot of wear and tear just in 1 day, 2 days here for Velociraptor. So keep that in mind too. I'm sure that truck is definitely fatigued.
You know, I don't want to take anything away from that man, David Olford. He's worked so hard to get to where he is right now. I mentioned before, he was the crew chief for Bari Musauer. He built the truck that Brianna Mahan started running later on in her career. He's worked so hard to get to where he's at. He won the last chance qualifier to make it here. He's a bronze medalist in racing. He deserves all the accolades he can get.
We're gonna go straight to scores. Your score for Velociraptor coming up on the video board, and you gave him a score of 6.339. There you have it, the BKT Freestyle Leaderboard. Doublefighter and Jurassic Attack 8.142 is the score to beat.
Hey, one of the things I noticed up on that last slide was that the experts were over a full point better than what the fans thought. And I think they saw what we saw was that momentum out on the track from David Olden.
Let's meet our next driver, Jimmy Sullivan, Monster of Dalmatian.
Sullivan.
The wow factor there from Jamie Sullivan. We take a look at the super glue glued to the action replay. Landed off of the apex and then goes for the trench box at the far end of the track.
That's a great point. She really varied it up. The eight-pack and the trench box are two different disciplines when you talk about hitting for the backflip.
Scores are locked in. Doublefighter and Jurassic Attack is your score to beat with an 8.142. So far, your score for Jamie Sullivan and Monster of Dalmatian is... So she now is on top of the leaderboard, 8.248. Jamie Sullivan and Monster of Dalmatian now takes the lead. We're gonna check in right now with the driver of El Toro Loco.
Look it.
Man, that freestyle out there, that was awesome. To see Jamie Sullivan go out there and hit that container, that was insane. These females out here that represent all of us on this track, we have Jamie Sullivan, Christen, Lindsay, they kill it out here. I'm already losing my voice because I've been screaming for everyone. Are you guys ready for some more freestyle? Todd, I'd love to hear the insight from some of these drivers, and of course we love to see them treat each other off like that.
Well, you know, sometimes it's the insight that's fantastic, and sometimes it's just the energy. And I love to see that from Chelsea Van Cleve. By the way, great to see Chelsea Van Cleve from our international series right here hanging out at Monster Jam World Finals.
We see a lot of heavy hitters out there waiting at their turn here as we're going to continue things on here. Monster Monster Jam Freestyle again. We have a new leader, of course, Jamie Sullivan from Monster Mutt Dalmatian.
And you know what, Kate? I think so far the expert judges and all the fans in the stands, I think they've gotten it right. I think when you look at what we've seen so far, there is no doubt that Monster Mutt Dalmatian and Jamie Sullivan has been the best run thus far. Let's check in with KCT.
Well, Camden, I know that earlier in the racing competition, we were so bummed because we weren't able to put you back in the bracket, dealing with some issues on the truck, a broken third member. Props to the crew in the back for working so hard to try to get you back for racing. Is freestyle your opportunity to get a little bit of redemption?
Absolutely. When it comes to the World Finals, Murphy's Law comes absolutely hardcore for me, but hey, it is what it is. My crew chief Craig and all the UNOH technicians behind the scenes make sure Bakugan's back to 110% because this is our year. We're taking one. It doesn't matter if it's racing, it doesn't matter if it's freestyle. We're going out here and getting wild. This track is treacherous out here, but that's not stopping us. We're going to get insane. You guys ready for some more Monster Jam freestyle?
Again, love the energy from Camden Murphy. I talked to him after racing, and he just looked at me and he shrugged and he said, you know, that's how it goes sometimes with regards to the break engine. I've known Camden a long time. We started at Monster Jam at the same year, and I just looked at him and I said, hey man, you've got another chance to go out there and win a world championship if you want to. It's all right in front of you.
I mean, that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles there for him. I mean, he's had some bad luck at previous world finals, and I think right now he is locked in to make sure that that freestyle is going to be epic from him.
Camden always says it's Murphy's Law. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong when he shows up at Monster Jam World Finals. But you know what? I want the luck to turn for him really bad because not only is he talented, he's immensely competitive. And I know that he wants to throw down out there. He's coming up in just a little bit in Monster Jam Freestyle, competing for another world championship. But let's go back to the action here.
Most definitely, we're going to get to know our next driver hitting the track here in BKT Freestyle World Finals Championship. It's Brianna Mohan, dubbed the Princess of Carnage in Scooby-Doo. Make sure you use that replay. It's a highlight package of all the great moves throughout the run of each of our competitors. And we're seeing this highlight package now. She hits the Morgan backflip, goes pretty high to the sky there, and just lands on the side. So her run is done here as we get set to see what your scores will be, what our expert judges' scores will be at judgeszone.com. Get those scores locked in. Scores are in. Now let's take a look at the video board. Your score for Scooby-Doo is. You gave her a score of 7.256.
Hanging out back in the stands with Jack. He said he wanted to talk to you for a little bit. I'm actually going to do something really fun up here on the video board. Coming up next, we have our helmet shuffle, official produced by Monster Jam. You're going to see 3 helmets that are going to bounce around. And you see the trophy there is on the video board.
dang good.
All right, I have faith in you, but you look a very smart guy. I think you really know this. I think you've done a helmet show before. So let's go ahead and get those helmets frozen, and let's see if Jack can get this answer right. Here we go. All right, so as you can see, they're spinning up right now. They covered the trophy, and they're spinning pretty fast. I'm actually having a hard time keeping up with what the answer is, but maybe these Monster Jam fans can guess it. So you think the answer is one? I see a lot of people clapping. Let's see if you're right. Let's take a look at the video board. It's going to be the number one. And it's number two. One of the fans is actually right. It's okay. Jack Garner, I appreciate it. Sit tight, everyone.
Los Angeles, I need you guys to focus on us right now because we're getting ready to introduce this next driver. This is our baby brother. So on the count of three, I want this whole stadium to say, hit the bell. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, hit it!
Christen Anderson came out like a house on fire, and maybe that's what cost them ultimately, but a very good run and a wild ride. Regardless of the score you and the judges come up with, he will lose 1 point for failing to fill at least 1 minute of the run. A wild ride, that's kind of what we've been used to with Christen Anderson.
Absolutely, and you gotta keep this in mind though, Christen Anderson and Gravedigger, I mean, he comes in with 32 freestyle wins in the 2024 season. There he is, Christen Anderson, Gravedigger.
It's still a good ovation for him. We just got a shot for Bruce Nealon of the rest of the Anderson siblings and the Gravedigger team. I think it was Adam Anderson who just looked at the camera and shrugged because he knows that's how it goes sometimes. That's the way the truck bounces.
Your scores are in. Let's take a look at those scores coming up on the video board. You gave him a 6.278.
She's driving the Lucas stabilizer is Lindsay Reed, and Lindsay, I want to take a moment to talk about some of the more technical aspects to the way that the track is built for Monster Jam Freestyle. I know that a lot of the drivers before the event will drive around the track or will walk around the track to specifically look at the way that the ramps are built. Talk about how that affects the way that the truck goes on the track.
This is huge. I mean, you gotta walk around there and see exactly how they are all built so you know how to hit them and where you're gonna land on the other side because there's so many things out there that can trip you up. So you have to have your truck pointed in just the right direction to land it to be able to get on to the next one and move on from your run. We've seen some amazing stuff out here already. I'm super pumped up and it makes me super nervous because I still got a lot of all these guys and all these girls out here that are killing it. So you guys are ready for some more Monster
reaction from the scores given by the fans and the judges. But that's what you're doing right now, is locking in those scores. The code is JAM. Okay, maybe just another case of pushing the truck just a little bit too hard here today.
You have to think too, I mean, he was in another competition besides JCB Racing, so a lot of fatigue on that truck as well. I mean, but kudos to him, he was off to a